Hey there, YouTube Nation. So I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about some of my thoughts on what's going on recently with this new trend in the gaming industry in regards to scrapping out the campaign mode. I'll say this, I'm not a big fan of it. I always found that campaigns are part of a package that you get when you buy a video game product, and if you buy something that does not have a campaign in it, only has a multiplayer component, and that's pretty much it, then you're buying only really half a product. And who wants to do that? Spend money on half of something which you should get the full product. So it's definitely not something I'm happy about, and it's a shame to see these games like Rainbow Six and Star Wars Battlefront now moving in this trend of losing the campaign mode for multiplayer. And of course you could say, okay, they're losing the campaign because they can focus more on adding to the multiplayer element and all that good stuff. Alright, so why is, for example, in Battlefront, why are there so many features that were included in the first Battlefront missing in DICE's Star Wars Battlefront? It doesn't exactly make too much sense to me. It seems it was more the case of scrapping the campaign so they have more time to work on the graphics, which me personally, graphics are nice and all, but I personally would have preferred to have an awesome Star Wars based campaign where you play as the foot soldier of the Empire, or even a rebel trooper. Something like that would have been pretty cool and unique to the whole Star Wars universe in terms of games. But instead we get half a game where you only get multiplayer and some really nice graphics and missing a lot of features. And so I definitely am not buying it. I mean, you can look at games like Evolve or Titanfall, which were like these games, pretty much all multiplayer and no campaign. And you know, they got pretty graphics, but the actual gameplay didn't survive long. The multiplayer for these games died, and as a result, games that are based on only multiplayer, if they have no one who's playing the game, then the game dies and people forget about that game. Now, I'm not saying that the same thing is going to happen to Battlefront or Rainbow Six, because at least these games, they kind of thought this through and at least added a single player component, which is pretty much like a horde mode. You know, hey, it's at least something better than having no single player component whatsoever. But you know, sometimes you need a little bit more than that. And I think that while it's nice that they added this horde mode, it could have been better if they spent a bit more time and added campaign mode to flesh out the whole single player experience and longevity. But I definitely see for sure Star Wars Battlefront surviving a lot more than Rainbow Six, just because, of course, it's Star Wars. If it was something else, if it was like a generic military space shooter, I don't see it lasting very long without a single player campaign. That's for sure, especially with such a high price tag that Battlefront is being priced here in Canada, like almost $90. It's really unbelievable. You know, if it was a free-to-play shooter, then granted, okay, by all means, go for it. You don't need a single-player campaign. I don't even think there are any like these free-to-play shooters that have a single-player campaign. But you know, that's what's these games are becoming. Like, they're becoming like these using the free-to-play models, but it's not free to play. You gotta pay $90 for a game that feels like a free-to-play game, but it's more prettier and expensive than that. So regardless, this trend unfortunately doesn't seem like it seems to be stopping. If Battlefront and Rainbow Six pan out to do really well, regardless if they'll survive for more than a couple of months or so, then these video game publishers are going to see this and they're going to be like, okay, you know what, this works, let's just keep on doing this. And you know, the fans, they might not like it, but regardless, they're going to end up buying it. I know I'm going to get Battlefront, and I might look into Rainbow Six, but regardless, I'm not happy about the whole campaign, therefore lack of campaign, and I'm gonna keep hoping for single player campaign download content component for Battlefront at least. It would be good money. It would be a good way to make money. That's all I can tell that to EA. You know, people complain that a lot of download content should be in the game when it comes out, and yeah, this should. But hey, you know what? Look at Destiny. A lot of the stuff that should have been in the game originally was pulled out when it was released, and a year or so afterwards, they released that as an expansion or whatever, and everyone's happy. So, you know, if it's working for them, then EA is gonna try to do the same, and so on. Any other publisher just gonna continue on this path, and we as the customers are gonna have to just deal with it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this topic. Not much to say, at least until afterwards Battlefront and Rainbow Six are released, and because right now the beta is going on for those games. But once they're released, then we'll have at least an idea if this model of doing things with video games is successful or not. Until next time, this has been Trick Gaming.